up? It's your boy Vince G. Today I'm going to give some definition to some of the terms that are most used in the Urban Dictionary and our everyday vocabulary and language that we don't pay attention to. So I want to break them down, as well as the attributes that's associated with these words that a lot of us use all the time. So first things first, these words are a little explicit. Let's get to it. First thing I want to talk about is hoes. What is a hoe? What is a hoe attributes, and what do hoes do? Hoes are women and sometimes men that perform sexual acts in exchange for monetary gain. Let me explain that again. Hoes are men or women that perform sexual acts for monetary gain. That is what hoes or whores are. Number two, because they get very mixed up when you're talking about these two individuals. Sluts. Sluts are individuals who have sex with almost anyone. They are individuals who have sex with almost anyone. It is a difference between a hoe and a slut, because a hoe does it for monetary gain. A slut may do it and not get paid at all. It is a difference between hoes and sluts. Number three, tricks. Tricks are individuals that pay for sexual access, similar to a service. If you go into Starbucks and you're buying some coffee, that's the same thing that tricks do, but often with women. You also have women that are tricks too. Women spend money on men in order to gain sexual access. That's tricks. Simps are individuals that put other individuals on a pedestal. They devote themselves to that individual. They put their own interests on the back burner for that individual. They come off as desperate. This is what you call a simp. Simps can be women. Simps can be men. You have women that are devoted, dedicated, do anything for a man against her own personal interests. You have men that do the same thing when it comes to women. A lot of them. They give their money, they give their resources, they give basically their soul to another individual. So these are the four definitions that I want to break down, because they are all not the same. You hear people say you can't make a hoe into a housewife. I used to think you couldn't make a hoe into a housewife because I had my definitions misunderstood. I thought that hoes were the same things as sluts, when they're completely different. You can't have a hoe slut that can be one individual. She do it for money, but she would also do it for free. You can't have a hoe slut. But you also do have bona fide hoes and bona fide sluts. Another person that I do want to add into that equation is nymphomaniacs. And nymphomaniacs will have sex with anyone. A slut may have some sort of provisions on who he or she sleep with, but a nymphomaniac will sleep with anyone at any time, and they have no type of preferences on whom they have sexual intercourse with. So again, let me get back to what I mentioned as far as between hoes and sluts. I used to think that hoes could not make proper wives because my definition was misunderstood. But as I've gotten older, I've realized that hoes may make the best wives. And I'm going to explain why. Because hoes understand the psychological aspect of a man. Hoes understand how men think and operate. To be a top tier hoe, you can't just be a woman that's soliciting your vagina. I'm going to reference escorts because escorts are more so girlfriends when it comes to their clients. They have to provide more than just the sexual aspect. They provide the companionship. Lots of escorts have class. You may run across high-tier escorts that speak multiple languages. High-tier escorts that know how to dress in cocktail or high-level business settings. Escorts that know how to charm an atmosphere to make her client look even better because she knows how to talk to big players, how to talk to wives. Not just a prostitute or a whore that don't know how to interact in those high levels situations because she was never taught how to. A slut may go to a cocktail dinner and I'm sorry, not a slut. Let me bring that back. Because a slut can do what I'm about to explain. A slut can show up in a cocktail dinner in a rainbow dress. You may have whores, depending on the level of sophistication she is, that do the same thing. But when we're talking about whores, because they operate from a service-based transaction, depending on the level of her experience and level of sophistication, she may show up looking like a first lady, but she's actually a whore. So I'm going to go back and talk about the movie that you may have seen a long time ago that was starring America's sweetheart, Julia Roberts. I would love to remake this movie. Julia Roberts was in a movie called Pretty Woman. And although she was a nice woman, she was very charming, she was a whore, she was a prostitute. And I don't know who his name was. I can't remember the actress name. Richard Gere. He had to change her up. He had to put her in some different clothes. And they had to teach her how to eat certain types of foods, how to conduct herself at the table, because she was a regular hoe. She was a regular hoe. It wasn't until she had learned how to conduct herself in those scenarios in which her value went up. She was able to operate as a top tier hoe or escort. They didn't show her having sex with the man in the movie, but we all know in real life that Richard Gere would have been clapping those cheeks, especially for the length of time that she was there. And you do have some guys that move the way that he moved, powerful men. But this is something that's been going on for a very long time. So when you see things like this, I used to think that a whore couldn't make a good wife. But if a woman understands male anatomy the way that whores understand male anatomy, she's able to keep the relationship. She's able to spice up the relationship. She's able to find out what and how he really feels. And sometimes she may need to or can cater to his ego from time to time, depending on this man and his capacity. I got the leaf blower over here. So again, I used to think whores couldn't make good wives. But now that I have grown a little bit older, I think whores might make the best wives, because they know how to keep the relationship spiced up. They know when to pull back. And in some cases, depending on the type of whore she was, she knows how to shut up. Excuse my language, she does. She knows how to shut up. Because all battles don't need to be fought verbally. Some of it and most of it is won psychologically. So, whores, in my new definition and my new understanding, make the best wives. Now, sluts, on the other hand, would make a best wife. Why? Because sluts are driven by the sexual intercourse. They're driven by the sexual interaction. It's about sex with them. It's about the feeling with them. Whores, it's not about the feeling with them. That was business. That was a transaction. But with sluts, it's about the feeling with them. It's about the experience with them. It's about the exhilaration with them. It's not even about the money, because they're not getting paid for it. A lot of them not getting paid for it. They are comfortable with being sluts. They're comfortable with the energy and the feeling that comes behind it. So a slut would make the wrong type of wife. Having a slut will most definitely have you as a man going crazy, or a woman going crazy, because you got some slutty ass men out here as well. Or a woman going crazy. You can't fix that. It's part of them. It's part of their DNA. It's part of who they are. So if you think that you're going to make a slut a housewife, she will be fucking your friends. She will be fucking your uncle. She will be fucking your brother. She will be fucking probably your sister. Because she's a slut. That's what sluts do. Like, you can't sit here and be oblivious to that individual's nature. That's in their nature to be that way. Now, if you have a woman or a man that was a whore and a slut, it's a 50-50 chance. It's a 50-50 chance. Depending on if they get bored. Now, if you're in a situation with a woman that was part of the nightlife, and she was a whore, but she's also a slut as well, she might be somewhat loyal to you, but only to a certain extent, because that extent is layered by two things. The first layer is how much money you got as a man, because the money is going to keep her around. And then number two, how exciting you are as a man. Are you providing her a life in which is always changing in a positive way? Like, you're going different places? Are you moving? Are you spontaneous? Are you a person that's in the entertainment world, like a singer or a rapper or something like that? Do you have an exciting, exhilarating life? And also, besides just having an exciting, exhilarating life, do you have the money associated with it? Now, if you are a woman that's a hoe and a slut, then these are the type of individuals that you want to be with. You want to be with a rapper. You want to be with a celebrity in that case. You want to be with, a basketball player, because a basketball player life is exciting. He's always moving around. He has the money. He has the income. So a lot of times those women, they are sluts and they're whores. They're there for the money, but they don't mind slutting it out. And like I said, a slut will smash almost anyone. Remember, the word is almost anyone. Otherwise, she would be a nymphomaniac. She would smash almost anyone. Not anyone, but almost anyone. And if you got hoe tendencies, if the price is right, you can have a good night. So, as a man walking in 2026, you need to be very mindful of these type of women, and women as well. Be mindful of these type of men that are out here, because they are out here. And when you do have these type of individuals, you will know how to move when they're in your life. Like I said again, certain sluts, you can't have a relationship, a stable relationship with a slut. You can with a whore though. And I didn't think that. You can with a whore though. Because with a whore, it's about money. You can with a whore, but you with a slut, no, because she is driven by the excitement. She is driven by the sexual pleasure that comes along with it. With a whore, it's about money. It's about transaction. It's about money. It is a service that they provide. Now, if she is in the middle and she's a combination of both, if you got a life and your life is boring, she's going to be stepping out on you when she go out of town with her girls. She's going to be fucking somebody else in another state that you don't know nothing about. She's going to be doing her thing with her friends, because her friends won't tell unless they fall out that you don't know about. Because she's going to take your money and she's going to go and say, me and my girls are hanging out, we're shopping, we're enjoying ourselves. But she's also going to be spending time with Big Dick Devin. And Devin is going to be drilling her and putting her through the mattress because you're working, you're busy, you're not exciting, you're boring. She's going crazy in her soft life. This is why you have a lot of women that are with financially successful men that step out on their financially successful men and end up fucking the karate teacher or end up fucking with someone who has less than what she has and less than what the man that she is currently with have. Britney Spears getting pregnant by her backup dancer. Like, it happens because it's exciting to her. It's exciting to her. It's fun to her. So I want you guys to be mindful of this. So the reason why she does that, and also the reason why these type of women do that, is because, again, if your life is boring, you have a regular job or you have a regular business, you have income coming in. In most cases, these women, when they get a certain age, they hit that pivotal peak of their lives. And that pivotal peak in their lives, I'm going to say about 35, this is when a lot of whole sluts decide that they want to change over, because the writing is on the wall. A lot of things are changing around them. You know, they may have had their way in their 20s, you know, or they may have had a child or something like that. And the ball game changes as they get older. The whole ball game changes. And they realize, you know, I want to stop hoeing. And a lot of women want to stop hoeing in their 30s. So now they're looking. They are on the scope. They on the hunt for what I talked about earlier today. They're on the hunt for a simp. They want this individual to be able to provide stability for them, their family, for their kid if they have a kid. They want to live a soft life. And a lot of these women don't want to work. Their pussy been working for them, so they want to continue to let their pussy do the work for them. And there's not a shortage of simps, especially when you're a beautiful woman and you show some sort of interest in that man who is a man of means. And because he's a simp and he's so dedicated and he is so driven to provide her everything that she wants and put her on a pedestal, he will turn the other cheek on her bullshit. He won't even see the things that she's doing to him. His friends and his family will see it, and they will tell him, But because he's such a simp and he's such a sucker, he believes it, but he don't want to step into the reality of what's really happening. He just want to accept it. He want to use traumas in his life to accept it. I want to be a father to her son or something like that. He want to use these as crutches. I had this type of situation in my life when I was younger. He is usually a man that is broken, that needs therapy himself. And when she sees him and she finds him, she is like a lioness hunting for a gazelle in the wild. And once she puts her fangs in him, it's over with. And she has 2 to 3 different ways in which she locks this man up. She will lock him up with, if he's weak sexually, she will lock him up with the sex. If he's weak emotionally, she will wrap him up with emotional connection. If she has a child and the father isn't around, or he's a loser or some shit, she will wrap him up with being connected to her child. So that now he feels like he has a family that's not his. He will be raising that child. He will be paying all type of shit. He will be the benefactor. He will be the father of that child. He will be paying all of her bills and her lifestyle. He will worship her. This is exactly what she wants. This is exactly the archetype of a simp. She will leave. She will get her cheek smashed by other men. And it will be nothing that he will want to do, because he would move just like Mario Winans. I don't want to know if you're playing me. Please don't let it show, 'cause my heart can't take it anymore. And if you're playing me, please don't let it show. Oh, baby, I don't want to know. You got to put the sad face on. Oh. That's how the simps move. That's how the simps move. And the simps don't get any respect by how they move. It's unfortunate that it's a lot of them out here. They're hiding. A lot of them out here. The mothers might give them some game. Their brothers might give them some game. Their cousins might give them some game. Their best friends tell them what's going on. They can find video and still don't care about what this woman is doing, because he loves her. He loves her child. And she uses that as weapons to manipulate that man, extract him of all of his earnings. And I'm going to tell you one thing to let you know that I'm right. Tell her that you don't have any more money. Tell her that you lost whatever business you have. Tell her things aren't going right. Stop paying for things and watch her disappear, because that's the whole side that's coming out. That's the whole part that's coming out, because the hoe was there for monetary gain. She already squeezed you. She extracted you. She got everything she could out of you. And now she's gone. That's the whole side that's coming out. She's still a slut, because the slut, the slut likes the excitement. The slut got Devin drills in another state somewhere. She got Lil Dumbass, the rapper, that she smashed. That's her claim to fame. That's her claim to fame. I got slutted out by a little dumbass, you know, in Miami. That's her claim to fame. It is what it is. So now I'm going to move over to the trick. I'm going to move over to the trick. Now, when we talk about tricks, we talk bad about the trick. We talk bad about the trick. And I used to talk bad about the trick until I start to understand the mind and the psychology about the trick. Now, tricking is necessary when you're a powerful man, because in building a relationship with a woman, it takes time and it takes conversation. A trick, his time could be better off spent making some money. He don't give a shit about building a relationship with a lot of women, especially if he is a man on his purpose and he got shit to get. He got money to make. So why do I have to sit here and entertain this woman, take this woman out, take her shopping, pay bills? I don't need that type of connection. I just want to have sex. I pay you some money and you get the fuck out of my face. Simple as buying ice cream from Baskin Robbins, 31 flavors. This is the archetype of a trick. I'm going to give you some notable famous tricks out here that a lot of y'all don't pay attention to. Powerful people. I don't know if you guys ever watched the movie, or rather the TV show Peaky Blinders. The lead character, Tommy Shelby. If you look at the first 2 to 3 seasons, Tommy Shelby was a man on the rise. He had women, but he also had whores that he slept with. He would do his thing, leave the money on the table, and get the fuck on. Because Tommy had other business to attend to. He didn't have the time to get emotionally caught up with a woman. He didn't have the time to get to know a woman. He just wanted what he wanted as a service, and he wanted to get the hell on, and that's what he did for the first 3 seasons. And having that mentality, Tommy was able to amass a major fortune. Had 2 beautiful women fighting over him, in which he married one of them. When he was ready, when he was able to establish something for her and establish something for his own empire and his own destiny. He established that. So he got what he wanted from those women. They got what they wanted from him, but he was also able to continue and focus on his purpose. That's the definition of a high-level trick. Now, a lot of tricks get talked bad about. I'm not going to talk bad about the tricks because I understand the definition of a trick and a simp. Those are 2 different things. You do have some tricks that are just like the whole sluts, that are a hybrid of tricks and simps. They are hybrid. They are there to pay for a service, but at the same time, they love this bitch. So they give up a whole lot of money. They might not be as dedicated to that woman, but they still have some sort of love for her. They still have some sort of love for her. So when we talk about these definitions, they're not necessarily, in some cases, direct definitions. It may be hybrid definitions, as I'm mentioning. The whole slut, the simp trick, instead of true tricking, true hoeing. I know it can get confused, but I want to sit here and break it down for you guys as clean as possible about this, so y'all have an understanding of this. So, a lot of tricks, like I would say, Richard Gere from Pretty Woman, right? He entered into this relationship. I ain't gonna say relationship. I ain't gonna say he entered into it, he would be more so considered to me a trick, but also a hybrid of, not even a hybrid of a simp, because he didn't give her no leeway. He kind of established who he was and what he wanted from her. So I would put him as, he is a definition of a trick. If he wanted to spend time with her, because tricking don't necessarily mean that it's got to always be a sexual thing. He might just want to hang with a beautiful woman. He just might want her feminine energy in his space. He might just want her to show up and charm and disarm other women or other women's husbands, not other women's husbands, but other women, if he is doing business with that woman's husband. Instead of showing up solo without another woman on his arm who know how to conduct herself in high-level business environments. That's what her position is as a high-level hoe or escort. He pays her for that. He pays her to charm and disarm the wife so that he can go along and let the men discuss business. Because if he shows up without a woman, it's not going to have as much appeal, and it may be harder for him to convey what he wants to convey with that individual, or build whatever type of business relationship that he wants to build with that individual. So I hope this was very educational this morning, because I tried to break this down as simple as possible, because these definitions get misunderstood when we're talking about whores, when we're talking about sluts, when we're talking about simps, and when we're talking about tricks. And a lot of these definitions can be a hybrid of both. Can be a hybrid of both. And also for you, as a person who took the time to watch this video, to understand the attributes of these individuals that are around. Now, I want to put a note in this video that I am not here to criticize anyone's life or lifestyle or how they live their life. This is just for educational purposes only. I'm speaking from my experience as a man. I've been around for a long time, and from a man who has been part of the nightlife at one point in his life. As a man who know individuals who are still part of his life. As a man who know individuals who have taken part in walking into being one of these archetypes that I'm explaining to you today. I know brothers that are simps. I know brothers that are tricks. I know women that are sluts. And I know women that are whores. And I'm just giving you how they move. So if you in any type of relationship with any of these individuals, you know how to manage it. And also, in some cases where you don't have to be afraid of these individuals. You don't have to be fearful that your woman was once a whore. And it depends on the type of woman she is, because it's a lot of classy hoes out here. It's a lot of classy whores, former hoes, former prostitutes, women of the night that are out here. Very classy, very sophisticated, that you would never know. You would never know. Because she speaks 4 languages. She's well-traveled. She works out. You would never know. You wouldn't have an inkling in your mind. She speaks very well. She's very soft. You would never know. Because she may have had a high elite P with her. They told her to behave herself a certain kind of way. She don't curse. She stands upright. She dresses like a classy woman. But she was, in her day, probably one of the top earners. So don't get it twisted. You got you a Russian wife and you thinking, hey, she's a Clinton. Nope. Nope. Better watch out. Better watch out. You better pay attention. You better look at the writing on the wall. But it's not, again, sometimes there's nothing wrong with that, because that just means that she knows how to take care of you. She's not going to reply with you when you say, what you going to bring to the table? She's not going to reply to you and say, I am the table. No, she's going to give you a list of things that a man looks for in a woman, that a man wants from a woman, because she knows. She's been around them all the time. She knows. She already know. And then even how she moves, you probably won't even have to ask her that question, because she's already doing it. She's already doing it. Like a slut don't care, because a slut, she got her vagina as her bargaining chip until she gets old. Until she gets old, and then nobody don't really want the cookie no more. That's when she start to go crazy. That's when she start to really lose it, because that was her power. That was her power. Her power was to garner and to keep attention. So women are succubus in that nature, is to have that attention, to have that love, to have that acceptance, to have that dominance over men. Everybody wants to fuck me. So she feels empowered because she has that kind of power over men. And again, sluts ain't gonna fuck everything. Some sluts are selective. But the high possibility of her fucking somebody is very high, because she's a slut. Very high. Very high. If I want to give you guys a percentile of a slut fucking somebody, it will be, it's an 80% percentile that a slut is going to fuck somebody outside of you. 80%. That 20% is the possibility that maybe she don't. Maybe she's a reformed slut. Maybe she cares about you a little more than expected. Maybe. But it's an 80% chance that slut is going to step out on you. That's a big bro. When it comes to whores, I would say it's a 20% chance that she's going to step out on you. I think whores are more loyal than modern women when it comes to thinking that she's going to cheat on you, because she's not excited by the dick like that. She's not driven by the desire for the dick like that. A modern woman, it could be a man to come and sweet talk her and hit her with some game, and she's bored of her life, and now she's getting her cheeks clapped somewhere. That's not going to work with a whore. She's been around the best of the best masterpiece mouthpieces. She done seen many penises in her lifetime. So for her to get aroused by desire, that's not the thing that moves her. She was probably there because of money. She's already had her desire through that. To her, it's a transaction type of thing. But for the modern woman, it's a desire thing. For a slut, it's a desire thing. A whore is not a desire thing. If a whore wife's up with you, she really loves you. She's not going to step out on you. She's not going to step out on you. Well, let me go back. The odds of her stepping out on you are very low, because it's not based on desire, sexual desire. So this your boy Vince G. I hope this video was hella impactful in your life. If you're looking for someone to help you with coaching, you're looking for some mentorship, you're looking for somebody who can really guide you through this thing called life. Because I know it can be complicated. You might have relationships with individuals. You might have kids that get on your freaking nerve and you want somebody to talk to about it, and they give you some real advice and real information, not no fluff, somebody who actually has been seasoned in this thing called life. I'm still getting peppered up right now to this day. You know, I'm here. You know, shoot me a message, set up with some consultation, set up for some consultation, and we're going to have a real conversation one-on-one. You're going to walk away with a real game plan. You're going to walk away with some real information. You're not just going to sit here and talk to me. No, we're going to have a real action plan. And I want you to win out here. So this is your boy Vince G, Built in the Dark. Peace.